The exhibition Antibodies is providing an overview of the entire body of work the Campana brothers did throughout their career from the 1980s until the 2000s. It is structuring the work in 9 different groups in which we tried to understand the different artistic approaches to design. Because we consider the Campanas really as outstanding examples of a design approach which is very different from the traditional industrial approach. The Campana brothers, they are falling in love with materials of a completely different source, of kitsch, which they find in shops in the streets of Sao Paulo, of materials which are used for housekeeping, or materials which are used for the manufacturing of completely different kinds of objects, and they reinterpret these materials in a way which reminds us of artists like Marcel Duchamp, surrealist or Dadaist artists of the modern avant-garde, even of cubistic approaches to expression, which created a completely new aesthetics in contemporary design. Well, first of all, the creative process of Fernando and Humberto is very different. The two personalities are very different. Fernando is much more laid back, much more observing, much to the work more as a ready-made pop approach, similar to the way Andy Warhol was creating with his stuff around, and mainly recycling ideas which already exist and recycling materials which already are at hand. Whereas Humberto is much more the sculptor in this couple, in this relationship. And he's a really hard worker, almost like somebody who is almost torturing himself in the work. And both constantly exchange ideas and passing the work from one hand to the other, criticizing each other. This is really important, and they also involve their stuff in their studio in Sao Paulo in an interesting way, because they teach their stuff how to understand their ideas and then let them go and let them develop things further, and then come back and forth in order to correct or to modify the direction. This is quite a unique work structure, I would say. On the other hand, it's not so untypical for a kind of designer-maker. So a designer-maker, I consider a design personality which is really creating an idea, but also translating that into the final product himself, and not working with industry. Well, their first important international recognition was in 1994 with an article published in the Italian architecture and design magazine Domus, written by Marco Romanelli, and that for the first time put the Campanas on an international platform. That was, however, not the time when I discovered them. I discovered them much later, when they were invited to give a couple of workshops for the Domaine de Bois-Bichet in France, with whom the Vitra Design Museum collaborated, and that's how I became interested in their work. However, there was another step in their career which was important for their international reputation and acceptance in the design community, and that was a couple of years later, after that publication of Domus, and is marked by the collaboration between the Campana brothers and the Italian company Edra. That for the first time translated their handmade artistic designs into something, into a commercial, industrial or semi-industrial production, into a serial production, I should better say. And that was really the big booming outcome of their work for the international audience that made them interesting for other design students, but also for the industry.